The War Spear, an old weapon from the early days of Dead Cells. And normally when you're thinking of items from that long ago, you're thinking they've been entirely outclassed at this point in time. So there's so many items that Motion Twin has been introducing with so many different mechanics and criticals that certainly the War Spear is not going to be able to hold up to that. But, as it turns out, that's exactly the case. This is a very standard sort of weapon. Slow wind-up time, slow hits. Its whole gimmick is nothing very interesting, just a critical strike when you hit several enemies at the same time. I would consider this, like the Impaler of survival, just because it is just a good, decent little melee weapon that you can use to get a little bit of extra damage, but not much else. I mean, it's also a spear, which I suppose is a good comparison, but you think about the two criticals that you get on these weapons. Stuff like hitting enemies against the wall versus hitting several enemies in a row. You're not going to be able to get any sort of usage out of that in a boss fight when it's really starting to count. And just, it doesn't really have a very interesting build that you can make with it. There's nothing you can do to build around this weapon or anything. But who knows? This is at least a little bit different than something like the Impaler. Certainly I'm going to get more usage out of hitting a bunch of enemies at the same time, especially on high cell difficulty, but, you know, when it comes to boss fights, not so much. And crowd control is generally not something that you use, that you deal with your main hand weapons in survival, just because you get great items like a Crusher or the powerful grenade especially. It's like if I want to take out huge groups of enemies, I'm going to be using that. And then I'll think about, you know, taking out my Seismic Strike or my Giant Killer or something, only when I absolutely need to. Only when, you know, I'm working with a lengthy cooldown time that has. But hey, there are a few bosses that have been introduced that can be maybe a little bit better with this. The Hand of the King certainly summons a bunch of enemies. Not that that's really the hardest phase of that entire fight. Same thing with the final boss. The Giant, for example. If I line things up correctly, I might be able to get both the eyeball and the oh boy. I might be able to get both the eyeball and the hand hit at the same time. And what are you groaning and moaning over there for? Well, you think this is just me trying to get out of going into the castle once again? That I'm trying to justify fighting the Giant for what, the 5th run in a row? Well, you're right. I hate going to the castle. Please don't make me go to the castle. And even though I don't think that the spear itself is going to be very good against the Giant's hands, only you know, in the actual attacking phases, at least I'll have like some shields going along with this. Although you might have noticed what I've been doing right now is maybe going for a little bit of an alternate build. I mean, if I don't think that there's anything very interesting going on with this weapon itself, maybe what I can do is I can not work with a survival build, instead go for brutality, and maybe get something working with that. After all, hitting a lot of enemies at the same time, getting criticals with that is something that should work very well with Frenzy, with Adrenaline. Hitting multiple enemies at the same time when those mutations are active is kind of the easiest way to get the really, really big heals out of that. And I have never really... Okay, usually how it goes with builds that I do in these runs is that I will... Number one, if it's a survival scaling item, I'm going to go for survival. If it's a brutality tactics scaling item, I'll go for brutality. And if I have to use tactics, I'll use tactics. Because after all, you get stuff like necromancy, you get big health pools. So it's usually the best option to try to go for survival if you possibly can and hope for some good colorless items. Here I'm going to try this a little bit alternate. I'm going to be going for the unexpected type of build and seeing if that works out for me. Certainly survival items, slow items do get some pretty great affixes by themselves. Maybe I can make that work over the course of this run. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with something interesting because otherwise, you know, it's kind of a foregone conclusion when I get to the end and I'm like, yep, this item was exactly what I thought it was going to be. 2 thumbs sideways because there was nothing good or bad about it. And I'm just, you know, make sure that people aren't clicking off the video immediately. So you got to come up with something. In the meantime, yeah, Frenzy, sure. Why not? I think that's about as good of a choice as anything, and the Arboretum should be a good starter here. I'm probably gonna have a little trouble with the Mushroom Boys guarding against me, but otherwise, enemies are very tightly packed in here. I'll get a lot of good benefit out of using the spear. Yeah. I mean, it's just hard to say too much of anything because this is just what you see is what you get, I think. And I don't think there's been any big changes with the game that have you know, that are going to be making me change my mind on that or anything. So I'm just searching. That was a good parry. So I'm just searching for whatever I can get right now. Nope. I should probably critical hits plus 30, 100% on poison, and 100% on burning oil. But it's not quite the type of build that I'm looking for. Stuns are nice. God, I don't know. This is a little bit different than what I'm used to. Like I said, with builds entirely. I'm hoping it's going to be something interesting, but I do think that I might just end up being like, hey, Necromancy. Sure, I'm getting good healing off of Frenzy, but I'd also really like some of that good healing off of close. I'd also like some of that good malaise healing off of Necromancy, and you know, my earlier assumptions about how I want to have builds work always goes for survival because you just get so many good things out of that. Still remain true. Great stuff. Gotta lose my good kill streak that I actually been pretty successful with so far for no reason, just running directly into an enemy. Maybe I'll also take velocity with this too, and just it's not gonna be boss fights I'm gonna be healing up in. It's just gonna be regular areas, and then hopefully boss fights will not be too difficult. If I get something like the plus 40% special affix on this, I should be able to get some great damage out of this, even though it is a little bit slower. And also, this is working out pretty well to give me a ton of extra stats very early on. I am not disappointed in it, though we'll see going Brutality with a Skulls as well as Stealth, please. We'll see going Brutality with a slow-moving weapon. I mean, I'm more worried about, like, well, curses, but, you know, that's always the case. I had somebody saying last time, hey, you know, it seems like as soon as you get to a curse, you just entirely forget how to play. And yes, what I would say is that I'm choking. I'm choking all the time. You know, you're choking now, etc. Just listen to the entirety of Lose Yourself right here if you want to know how I'm feeling. Especially linger on the Mom Spaghetti bit. And that's basically what happens every time I do, you know, perfect boss fights. Anytime I'm going for the final boss, for example. Anytime I'm going for, you know, anything that's going to be stressful, period. Curses are one hit and you done, son. That's absolutely no exception. I mean, it's one of the major reasons why I never wanted to return for Chapter 9 on Celeste, for example, because that game is stressful. Is this just the one? Yeah, this is where you get the Gardener's outfit. Would have actually liked to have gotten that here. I think that would have been a nice one, maybe more so than the Skeleton Archer, which would have been great for, appropriate for anything except for the run that I'm doing right now. Well, anyway, yeah, I can't deal with it, man. It's too hard. And I don't know. The stress gets to me. The stress gets to me real easy in video games. Anytime that I got anything going on, I'm just the choke master. Slow weapon's actually working out in my favor there. When the stress is off, I can play so much better. Yeah, Celeste. It's not like that's not a game I spent a whole long time in or anything like that. That's not a game that I really thought was. Certainly, it's not the hardest game I've ever played. No, I'm not actually going with survival right now. Don't forget about that. But it's just something about it made it the most stressful game I may have ever played. Sure, I I was able to make a decent amount of progress in a very short amount of time compared to, let's say, like Terraria, which I've been playing a lot lately on streams. Check me out on twitch.com/Dr. Inferno Firebird. Do it today! Yeah, it's like, that has very slow progress, very incremental, you know, stuff that you can't really... Yes, I am mad that I did lose my great kill streak once again, but, you know, what are you gonna do? But, like, you know, in a half hour, could do way, way more in Celeste, but the stress was so much worse, and then you get Chapter 9 coming out, and I'm like, you know, I don't need to continue on with this. I'm just saying. And there's also that sort of feeling like when I'm going up against the final boss in this game, for example, where there is some actual stuff that I can unlock now, and I do because, hey, I might as well get if I'm going to be playing the game this much, I might as well get everything. Achievements, special items that don't even have achievements associated with them, whatever. Do it all, baby. I ain't going nowhere. But, like, you know, it's also... I mean, no rush to do it, because I know if I try to go into a rush to do it, the stress and it's just going to be even worse than it is right now. And I already kind of hype myself up every time that I have a decent run that might work, and then I've already failed. I've already failed. I mean, it's no surprise. I do have, like, actual anxiety disorder type of thing. So, hey, the fact that you're seeing me choke so easily, that's just how it be. That's just me. You gotta let me be me. Try to shut me down on MTV, but feels so empty without... Yeah, it's just the M&M hour, isn't it? Oh, well. There's some good stuff there, let me tell you. Yeah, as you can see, this is what we're gonna be looking at for, like, bosses. It's frustrating, but this is the world we're living in, and there. Ain't too much I can do about it, unfortunately, because that's just kind of what the weapon is. Hey, Motion Twin has been talking about for a while. Hey, let's go and, you know, really get some good balance changes in here, get some cool stuff working for the sake of that. But to be honest, I don't know. I don't know what you try to do to fix this sort of thing up, especially because we got, like, the symmetrical lance. Not quite the exact same thing. That is killing enemies as opposed to just hitting at multiple enemies in a row, but it's still so similar, and it's so much cooler of a weapon, too. I mean, sure, War Spear, it's got its own thing, but I think, back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, that this was a lot like the spreads inflammable oil 100% on burning target. I might be able to make something work with that, especially if I go get, like, a flamethrower turret, which I might go prioritize doing. Though at this rate, it's either going to be taking alienation or trying to get... Or trying to save up for a potion charge. And I don't know if I really want to do either of those. I guess if I'm going to pick my poison, then alienation. I mean... It's a stressful time for a time, but it is one that... There we go. Okay, it's stressful for a time, but as long as I just take it slow, take it safe, it shouldn't be too bad. I don't know, man. Boy, well, speaking of not being too bad, I hope that's going to be the case for the cursed chest that I'm about to be taking here. Hey, let me tell you this, if I can survive this run, no promises, I'm going to be in a really good position because this is a non-guaranteed curse chest. So that's like bonus stats on top of bonus stats, which is great, but does mean I'm going to have to deal with the curse. Not a fan. That's good. Yeah. Hey, especially if I am going to be going up against the giant a little bit later on, and I am. Next thing to be banned is going up against the giant. It's... No. Yes. I don't like this. Just gonna let him continue to throw everything, and then Come on down here. Just wait for that. God, I hate it. I hate it, but, you know, like I said, choke master here. Master choking. Not in that way. No, I didn't mean it like that. All right. That should take care of it. Good. Didn't even have to worry at all about, other stupid things that I'm messing up here. Okay. Yeah, we're looking at 13 going out of the second area. And when I go into the prison depths, I'm going to be immediately get cursed, immediately get a lot more cool items. Could go for the 60 kills there, but Nah. It's not worth it. Not worth it. And like I said, I'm gonna go for alienation, and I'm gonna hope that I get a... I mean, the bomb, I actually kind of really do like what I got right now, but... God, I don't know. I'm looking at this, and I like this combination. I don't know if I really want to replace either of these things with it. For right now. I'm not going to make it the focus of the run, but I am going to make it the focus of me getting not killed by a curse. Yeah, okay. I mean, I did not need to use... Let's be honest here. I did not need to use... Good. Tornado there. I just thought it would be like a poetic irony for the Lacerator to be killed by its own method of attacking. Whoa, you're still alive, I see. My dude. It is Wednesday. Anyway, God, you can just tell. It's like... It's not that I've forgotten how to play. It's just I'm so worried that it makes an approximation of that same sort of feeling. Well, anyway, hey, you know, taking it slow, taking it nice and easy in Dead Cells is a part of Dead Cells, like it or not. Love it or hate it, he's spitting straight facts. I mean me. Tried to shut me down on MT he. Okay, nothing even in here. Stuff in there, though. Anybody? But it feels so empty without he. I don't know why. But that's just the episode we're doing today. All right. What I'd like to do is I would like to get some sort of... There. This is a stupid way to start to take damage immediately. But, yeah. I want to switch out for I am, especially if I am going to be going and fighting the giant, probably going through the sepulcher for that. I am going to want to grab some form of shield. It's just too good, and it's going to be essential with this sort of item. This sort of item for a flying enemy, whether it's Conjunctivius, whether it's Conjunctivius or the giant. You're really not going to want to go for fighting them with... You're not going to want to fight them with a slow melee weapon. That is putting yourself in a bad position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look here. And somebody suggests taking Thunder Shield with this run. And, I mean... Come on, really? I'll try one more. Well, I guess I have to try one more because that's all the rerolls I got. But, yeah... It's like just for, you know, something that would be a little bit weird, but at the same time, it's like that's not really, there's no justification. There's nothing you can really do to come up with combinations. Maybe something like utilizing a magnetic grenade, but to be honest, I would rather just go in and take something to do a little bit of extra damage rather than, you know, focusing on creating some sort of synergy for this weapon. It was the same sort of issue that I had last time when it came to using the... Okay, I'll do that. Let my tornado do its filthy, disgusting work. Well, I don't have to worry about kill counts in this area anyway. Yeah, so what was I saying, though? Yeah, it's like the oil grenade was good. It was certainly very good, but I do think I probably would have benefited from just taking, like, a good turret or something in its stead. Because, you know... I could use just more damage, especially early game. By late game, I do think it was a very good combination, but early game, Spartan Sandals, an interesting combination. I would not say it's a good one, but I would say there is a level of interest to be had. Rally it up at least. Rallied up about as good as I can get it. I don't know. There's only so much you can do. Trying to line up the criticals, I do think, is going to help a little bit for just taking out enemies quickly, but what does that even mean? If I just wait for my bomb to get up, that will also be effectively the same thing. Just got to stop getting myself hit by the enemies I am encountering here because I'm being a little bit too reckless. What do you got? Spreads inflammable oil, etc. Come on, this is not... what I really should be saving up for is an upgrade for the War Spear as well. Being that I don't think this is like a very good just by itself type of weapon. You know, I don't need to fight this guy. This is not a very good by itself type of weapon. I should really be focusing on trying to at least make sure that it has... You know, the more stats you get, sometimes that's all you need to make a really good build. Okay, I'm gonna go... I think that this is... There are like 3 enemies left in this entire area. Something's got to be dropping that funky fresh iron key so that I can go and get the Bloodthirsty Shield. Bloodthirsty Shield would be great. Good against the giant, good against... just good. It's a good item. It's not like it should be too difficult to kill these guys. The only worry was if I happen to come across... If I happen to find out that the iron key was held by that elite... which would have maybe put me in a bad position, as you know. All right, but as it is, yoink. Yeah, good enough. Certainly having something that works a little bit more with my stat distribution will be helpful. And yeah, ossuary. Nice and easy. Food shop if I need it. Another curse chest, which, I mean, I do need it, always. Can't get away from those curses. Anything else that I'd like to take, though, before... I mean, adrenaline would be nice. Maybe... How about Berserker? If I'm going to be trying to, like, kill enemies en masse. Plus, I get the 3 skulls there. It's like I'm, like I hit jackpot at the mutation lottery. Speaking of which, apparently one of the things they are going to be changing up, at least looking at their latest news post, is non-defensive mutations, so they're a little bit better. Because as of right now, they don't scale super great into high cell difficulties. Something that I've definitely noticed, but even more than that, I just think that high cell difficulties benefit a lot more from defensive stuff versus offensive stuff. There's Frenzy at least, like, really coming through in the clutch here. But yeah, defensive stuff better than offensive stuff because you're usually able to, with a combination of the right affixes on items and just items in general to make sure you're buffed out to the gills, getting an extra little bit of damage from mutations. It would have to be a lot more than an extra little bit. It would have to be a run-defining amount of extra damage for me to really want to take it. Boy, I'm glad that Thorny did not teleport facing away from me, as it is wont to do very often. But as it is, yeah, you know, kind of as like a mid-game judgment on this weapon, it's all right. It's the Impaler, the Wrenching Whip, any sort of comparison that you want to make. I mean, you could take that, you could go take something like a torch, something like an inflammable sword, giant killer, you know, all these things that when you're looking at them, you can see like some really obvious build archetypes that you want to make. This is just here to do damage. Seismic Strike, same thing, though Seismic Strike is a little bit faster than your usual survival weapon, I think. For all I know, maybe I just was really willing to change my mind on that. And it's not actually, maybe it's like literally as fast as the War Spear, and I'm just stupid. I'm making myself look like a fool right now. But as you know, numbers, who needs them? I'm not working in any sort of... I'm not doing these runs with like a mathematician's mind. I'm doing it as a true video gamer. Let's just which is why I seem to take very bad damage constantly. Like a true video gamer. Very nice. Well, so much for getting this last time. I'm just not going to try to attack that. Just not going to try to attack that Thorny. I'm going to be satisfied not attacking that Thorny. Or attacking Thornies like straight up period, because oh man. Oh man. Just going to hang out on this wall for a second. Make sure I'm not going to get killed by Inquisitors either. And then, yeah, I mean, Alienation. To be honest, I really don't like taking Alienation because it slows down and runs so much, but God, I just kind of need it. Otherwise, you should just be taking this with like every single build, to be honest. Because really, it's like the healing you get out of this is absolutely incredible. Cannot be matched by man nor God. But it's just the downside is so intense. Putting yourself in such a vulnerable position. It's not just, I mean, sure, it might be a temporary decrease in defense, but it's the ultimate decrease in defense. One hit kill. I mean, yeah, you introduce like a 6-cell mode in the game. One of the things you should do is make it so that you have a limited time before the curse just outright kills you. That would be, I would also die in real life if that was the case. Because of how horrible that would be. Like, good lord. Certainly it would be a way to introduce a lot of extra difficulty. I'm not even going to try to say that it wouldn't. Okay. Good. Just two left. I mean, you know, that plus the advancing wall of like a spikes, bloodied spikes or whatever would be exactly what I would say. Or just outright have you cursed all the time, or a limited amount of time to beat the run, blah, blah, blah. These are all ideas I came up with when 5-cell had yet to exist, and I still hold to them in case Motion Twin ever decided that they want to torture people. I remember seeing somebody suggest, like, hey, what do you think if they put in, like, an underwater equivalent to the final area? C-Lab, basically. And I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. I mean, certainly I thought that's kind of what the cavern was originally going to be like when we found out that they were going to thinking about putting that in. One update had it be that the area that opened up into the merchandise categories at one point in time just had the caves. I think it was actually called the cavern at the time. So we've known about it for some time, but wasn't until the Rise of the Giant update that it was actually implemented into the game. It's like, that's what I was thinking that it was going to be, something like that. You know, like, you know, your underground cavern. If you know Darkest Dungeon, like the caves. The Cove. Yeah, it was called the Cove. That's also a common thing in all of the Castlevania games, of which, needless to say, there are a lot of comparisons. For the God's sake, this game has a clock tower. What more can I say? But, I mean, that would be fun for, like, more DLC type things. I want to say Bad Seed was a rousing success. I can't imagine Motion Twin is going to be giving up on this game just yet. We'll see, though. Maybe they're going to be like, hey, you know what? We want to work on other stuff. I understand. Get that way myself sometimes. Like, what was it? Doing the Terraria stream, somebody was like, hey, play Dead Cells. And I'm like, what? No. And just for that, the episode's not coming out till Tuesday. And now it's Wednesday, so egg on my face. Oh, huh? You say. I mean, I would have seen that walking over the coffin in the first place, but good lord, this is like that one Magic Missile run that is inexplicably popular on the channel levels of stats that I'm getting right now. I mean, I ain't gonna argue against it, I'll say that. But like, this is not really the This is not really the weapon that I would have liked to have had this sort of incredible stat luck with. Incredible, like, cursed chest and challenge rift luck with. There are, I mean, if I was working, there are better items. There are better builds. But hey, you know, as far as having an easy time with this run goes, I'm happy about that, certainly. I'm not gonna argue. Never gonna argue. Got some nice stuff going on here. Though the powerful grenade, well, it has the inflammable oil, it has a burning target. Nah, I'm gonna switch that out for something soon enough. Get some actual brutality stats on there. You know, make it start looking much nicer. Because 20 is a lot of stats to have right now. Oh no. Look, the fact that I haven't had the, I mean, it's good. It's good, but like the fact that I haven't had the map revealed to me means that it should have blessings and curses. It means that I should have enough areas around here to not die. I'm also seriously considering just taking that just same thing with the quick bow, just something out there to make sure that I can get rid of this curse in a trivial way rather than having to put myself at risk against Thorny's V. Okay, that should be a 15 at least. Yeah. Okay, Thorny's V War Spear is not a good combination. Yeah, is what I can say. Yeah, it's not that scary. Just shut up, me. One of the things that this weapon was originally about, like when it was first introduced, was the idea that you'd have extra range at the cost of speed, and it's like ranged weapons exist in the game. That was never a good option ever. Period. But that was the original selling point for the weapon. So, how large is that area down there? Great. I'm so stressed. I am so stressed. Can I get up here without getting killed? I have so many stats right now. Yeah, I can take them out with that. I can probably take you out, conserve my bomb here a little bit. And it's just a bombardier. Okay. Don't even need to worry about. As long as I can just hit it. I don't like it. But God, the stats are so good. They're so good. It's like this is as long as I don't die to these curses, this is the makings for a real good run. This is all the ingredients. But I have to not die. And that is often easier said than done. Very often. Seven enemies left, please, for the love of God. For the love of the gods that cursed me. Tell me I have 7 enemies left. 6. Don't accidentally. Oh, God. I'm just going to wait for my bomb to get back up. I'm not even going to. Not even going to. Then I might be able to drop down on that. No, just going to wait for the bomb to get back up. The ingredients are all here, though. I'm telling you. 3 left. 3 left. And that's another curse chest. That's 2 curse chests and 3. 3, count them. 3 of the challenge rifts. It's so many extra stats. It's nuts. Okay, and then just go down here, destroy that Death Spitter, Slimeling Creator, whatever it's called at this point, and we're good. Thank God. Thank the gods that cursed me in the first place. If only I would stop making them so angry, maybe they would be nicer. At least in Noita, a very similar way that you just kind of get cursed constantly and have to curry favor from gods. They are the ones that allow you to change your spells in the in-between areas and everything. That's pretty nice. But let's be honest here. That would be something that I would replace the weapon du jour with, which is not what we're trying to do here. That's not the build that we're going with. All right. And maybe I should have just tried to re-roll my my heavy grenade, but save up some of that money, go buy something in the next area instead. Nope. You know, the other thing is that when you get like real big stats with Tornado, this thing is incredible. Like to a degree that you can't even imagine. It's an item that is usually not very good until you get super high stats. And I do think that I am perhaps on track for making that happen. Yeah. Okay, come on. I'm just worried that I'm gonna get a damage fielded, that I'm gonna get Smelter Demoned, lose my perfect game. Good. Now, like I said, the damage is off the charts. It's off the hook, baby. Great. Shouldn't have went back in there to try to get some more hits in. That's where I went wrong. Oh well, a single hit is not going to be breaking the bank. I mean, certainly it could be way worse. And I do have bleeding, burning. I do have inflammable oil for the target. That's why I'm getting so much damage when I get like the full Monty, the full combo off. Because yeah, that is doubling my damage. A strange way to go about doing it, but I'm happy at how it's working nonetheless. All right. I'm not going to be using Skull. Not going to be using Mushroom Boy either. None of these things are relevant to the run at hand. And oh boy, I don't even know the last time that 40 minutes into the run I beat the first boss. Oh, this is a rare run, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But as it is, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to keep Berserker. I'm going to switch out for Adrenaline. And then, you know what? Just give me Dead Inside. Give me Dead Inside, and I will... We're going to go with a good heal and a good defensive game. And we're going to keep it at that. I like the way that's working here, too. Certainly the criticals have been great, but like I was saying, the whole thing with the criticals is that it's really just very, very similar to... The Symmetrical Lance, and the Symmetrical Lance is so much cooler, being this gigantic ore, like I'm playing, like I'm playing, Chrono Cross here, that happens to have blades on both sides. I don't know how, to be honest, I don't know how much that sort of weapon is actually used in the real world, but I can't imagine that it's all that common. Your Botleth-inspired weaponry, basically. That's the good stats. But anyway, the point is, it's got the style. The style is worth a lot. I've always said, it's like, what's the point in living if you can't style on your enemies? Is this a legendary item? Because I will go for that. And whatever, I'll take a minor amount of damage from that. Okay, what do you got? No, nah. I would much rather keep my, I would much rather be keeping my my blood shield, because that's got more utility just in general, being able to throw down bleed and especially enable some synergies in a very roundabout but still effective fashion. Yeah, I don't know. One of the things that I kind of like to see if they were going to ever like do some real big changes with how stuff work in Dead Cells is actually throw down like different types of criticals. Not just criticals that give you damage, because as I was saying, you know, speaking of the Greed Shield, as I'm seeing there, it's like one of the things with the Greed Shield was that made it so unique was the fact that it was a non-combat focused item. It is still a shield, it still can be used for combat, needless to say, but you would also be able to get money with it, which is just not really a thing you see otherwise in the game. I mean, maybe if they want to change stuff up, like throw down stuff, like making it so that criticals do more. Maybe you get like a mild amount of lifesteal on critical. Maybe you, on critical, you instead of getting extra damage, you just get extra speed boost or something, which is an affix, but isn't like something built into a weapon. Throws down a small amount of water to like enable some electricity stuff or something. I don't know, just like stuff that would be affixes normally baked into weapons instead. I mean, certainly stuff like being able to cause bleed and being able to cause poison are stuff that exist, you know, as part of like a weapon's whole existence. You know, your blood swords, your alchemic carbines, and as affixes that you can get on stuff. But aside from dots, you're not getting too much of anything else. Get some money on critical would be fun too, which is how the greed shield works. Chance to, like, extremely small chance to instantly kill? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that exist in video games that, the curse of survival skill, or survival items sometimes, still coming up here. But, you know, also, at the same time, I'm not a game developer, which is why I am very hesitant to actually give real advice with this latest update coming up. Even if Motion Twin came to me and was like, hey, you do a lot of YouTube stuff on this video game, what do you got to say on, like, rebalancing? I'd be like, whatever you feel like. I always had that kind of laissez-faire attitude about actually playing Dead Cells, where ultimately I feel like, hey, whatever Motion Twin wants to do, I'm just along for the ride. Because ultimately, I'm not a game developer. You know, you remember that one time where, a Reggie full of anime got beaten by no, I'm gonna save the money for a single point of malaise. He got beaten by like a tournament guy, and he's like, hey, you should have me help you rebalance the next thing. He's like, well, how many video games have you made? I feel like I'm kind of that's me. That would be me. That would be me. Tried to shut me down when it would be me. No, we're done. Anyway, it's just I don't know anything about actually making a video game, so I don't really feel qualified to say, despite how much I've actually played of this. I don't think I could really be qualified to say anything regarding that. It's just mostly relegated to me just kind of coming up with, hey, what's something that would be an interesting topic to talk about for this episode? And leave it at that. And that's really all I want to say. But hey, I am still interested in seeing what the actual balance changes are. Besides, hey, if they just did everything I wanted, then what would I talk about? Well, this item is bad, but it's because of advice I gave. That would be a world that I could not live in. That I could not live in. I refuse. Anyway. Let's get on to the next area here. Ain't gonna be getting there in 26 minutes. Though I did actually kind of get a little close. But, at least, did I get the 60 kills? I felt like I was doing good there, but nope, did not manage it. Ah, man. Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. As it is right now, I'm still... Yeah, with that flat 20% extra damage on the War Spear, the 100% on targets covered in burning oil. It's not extremely common that I'm getting that, but it's common enough. Would like to switch out, like I was saying. The bomb at this point, I do think, is kind of becoming an albatross around my neck. And I am going to want to switch that out for something, hopefully, maybe even like just an oil grenade. That would scale with the current strategy that I got, so... Or maybe you. Yeah, covers the ground in flammable oil. Sounds peachy keen. Lay it on me, baby. One more cursed chest. One more cursed chest, and then I will be much less... Then I'll be in a good position to at least not die. But, you know, let's just save this area in case I need to go have some enemies to kill for curses. I don't think you can have multiple extra curse, you know, bonus curse chests appearing in here, but I also don't want to be testing that in an inopportune time. Hey, it's the owl making its the normal appearance in my runs, apparently. I'm a little bit worried, though, about getting rid of that bomb for dealing with curses, because I am not going to have my same just throw a bomb in. That's missed pressing the jump button. But anyway, yeah, I'm not going to have my same shut down enemies by pressing the bomb. I'm just going to be the tornado for long-range takedowns, which is not the best situation I can imagine. But, hey, it'll work. Just make sure that I have a good few areas and, like, a good few weapons to use to take out enemies so that I don't have to worry too much about curses, basically. These are nothing. They're nothing. Get out of here. Completely useless. And, man, I just lost. I didn't even realize this, but I lost a lot of. Dang. Should have went for the parry there. That's what. I am. The bad stuff is going to go down because I have very little survival. Oh, damn it. Well, that's not great. But I mean, you know, that's the thing. It's incredibly difficult to hit flying enemies with the War Spear. That's a huge problem with it. I was getting into the groove of the game and I almost forgot to turn back on the camera. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter. As you can see, I'm mostly working off of a lot of survival scaling items, even in spite of my efforts to not do that. Well, that's how it goes sometimes, I guess. I don't know. Let's just get in here and fight this giant already. I said that I was going to, and boy howdy am I going to. Mushroom Boy is not going to be great, but certainly the Death Orb will. And Punishment, same thing. So, I don't know, unless I happen to get something particularly good in here, perhaps? Cleaver would probably be better than Mushroom Boy, let's be honest. How much money do I have to re-roll? 164,000? Yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice with that one because Mushroom Boy, unfortunately, being a boy, he is too short to actually hit those hands. However, it keeps happening, doesn't it? It just keeps happening, doesn't it? Anyway. Anyway, let's just get on to the fight here. I am perhaps somewhat perturbed, but at least I do have, I think, the damage reduction thing and the poison stuff on it. Poison, but not the damage reduction. That's fine. That's fine. I can live with that. To be honest, I didn't have as much of a blowout as last time when it came to getting an incredible amount of stats, but I did have some extra good luck with getting extra curse chests and everything. So, you know, good stuff happening there nonetheless. Hit him twice. Nope, didn't quite happen. Yeah. What am I even doing? I'm just confusing myself right now. Oh well. That said, still going fine. The War Spear might not be super effective here, but everything else I have certainly is. Rally that back up. I mean, between the rally that I get just from hitting enemies in the first place, combined with the you know, hidden or dodging like through enemy attacks. This is kind of what I wanted, but not quite. Oh well. Now, I do think that at this point in time, the run is getting kind of supported by just good items rather than anything really amazing from the weapon itself. I didn't even get the 2 hits there. Okay. There we are. Excellent. Unfortunately, I didn't want to hit it that quickly, but This is working out just fine. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, not as much as I was hoping for vis-a-vis the, like, double hit mechanic that I was looking to get, but, you know, it's still working out just fine anyway. Good, and this should also inflict that poison and the fight. Good stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna say I think that my earlier assessment of, hey, this is a great item for when you just need a little bit of damage is absolutely correct. Bye, Castle. See you never if I can help it. Yeah, just use it to deal damage. I don't think that going with brutality type of build was any more effective than anything else I was doing, but hey, it's you know, it's not ineffective or anything. Although, to be fair, like I said, I've already been using a lot of survival-based items just because of the luck of the draw with colorless stuff. I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get a read on some of these runs, but I do think that it is still a decent quality item. It's just, you can really... I'd rather take something like a Nutcracker instead, for example. You can get so much better synergies with any of the freezing items, but especially Wolf Trap, and that's available even earlier on than the War Spear, the Wolf Spear. It's not bad. Hey, yo. No perfect fight, but that's fine. I'm not like a... That's not a super huge priority for me to be getting perfect fights all the time, after all. And hit 2 at once. Like I said, you can... Oh, I also got the enemy falls on top of the Hand of the King, which is always a fun way to get a lot of extra damage there. I wasn't even trying to do it that time. Only 33 points of brutality? I mean, I want to say that's slightly above average, but it's not like a real blowout. It could have been such a huge blowout. Never drop your guard around the Kamikaze Bats. Especially when you're using a weapon that does not have very much vertical hitbox potential. That's my point of advice here. If you're taking nothing else away from the episode, know that. Oh yeah, I never actually mentioned this is dropped from the Mechanical Spiders. It's already way too late. What am I even saying? Mechanical Spiders in the Prison Depths. They are also dropping the Oil Grenade at this point in time. Used to be the running zombies back in the day, and I don't like this at all. Here, get a face full of Death Orb. And I hate it. Anyway, I'll try to avoid using a potion charge just yet. I did happen, as you can see in the mutations, to take the heart because I just did not want a repeat of what happened last time. That was not only embarrassing, but wasting your time as the viewer, even though, due to the fact that I kind of started up the video a little bit later than usual, that didn't really waste that much time. Well, it wasted what could have been a good run. I suppose I can say that. Good start here, real quick type of mini boss, and hopefully that can continue on to getting the alien key. Well, hopefully. You never know how that works vis-a-vis the Astrolab. For example, I don't actually know where I'm going right now. Certainly, I'm not going to be going any farther left, but okay, it's actually safer down there than it looks. Good. Oh, Astrolab, you're still something to behold. You are still a sight to behold, aren't you? A cool area, certainly, but also one that is very frustrating. Okay, thank God. It's going to be very, very sad if I did not get a confirmed kill there. Anyway, I got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. No, I already had to redo this run. It has been, I swear, it's been every single run. Is this my penance for fighting the giant too much? Yeah, well, as it is, I don't care. I'm going to continue to fight the giant. Trust you me. I got the heart. Got the heart. Oh, good, right into the grinder, sure. And this is the point in time that I am going to actually take the potion charge like I was promising earlier. 34, looking pretty saucy. Yeah, I really shouldn't even be trying to attack the slammers there with a regular melee attack. That is going to end in problems because of how slow it is. It's the same sort of thing with fighting... It's the same sort of thing with fighting the kamikaze bats, as I was saying earlier. Okay, thank you for spawning 2 of those, by the way. Same sort of things fighting the kamikaze bats. They just attack too... Everything attacks too quickly. This is a very slow weapon, and it's really throwing me off here. Choose your death, I guess. I am... If you're gonna be like that, I guess I am willing to acquiesce. Anyway, anything else? Anything else? Not terrible weapons here or anything. I could use a little bit of an increase in damage in flammable oil if I get any sort of fire at all. Maybe reroll punishment once or twice. That'd certainly get me on the fast track for a lot of extra damage. I am getting, like, legitimately mad right now. Anyway. Didn't find the alien key, but hopefully... You know, the other thing I hope I find here is a scroll fragment. I've been hanging around with 3 since the last area. Since the last 2 bosses, and it would be nice to fulfill that, that final stat that I could get out of it. Of course, you never know what's actually going to be spawning in the Astrolab. It's kind of frustrating in that way. Frankly, I would like it to be that you get whatever amount of scroll fragments that appear in the game is guaranteed to be even, but it doesn't actually work like that. Good. Get a little bit of the usage out of the adrenaline there too. Always a good feeling. And then, yeah, it's definitely going to be up here, and then I'm out. I'm going to finish up this run. It was, like I said, not like the most blowout, crazy type of thing, but it is solid weaponry. You know, you point it at an enemy and it do damage, and sometimes that's all you need. Sure. I didn't even see exactly what killed it there. I assume it was probably the grinder because, you know, like I said in the episode where I was doing that, it does have a little bit larger hitbox than you'd think, apparently. Tried to let me say apparently, but it feels... I'm sorry. I just wanted to try to tie that in right at the end of the episode here because it was kind of a theme I was going for, even though I knew it was terrible. Why was I even bothering? But, you know, I think I just need to... I learned my lesson from last time where I just kind of dropped down and was like, I'm pretty sure there's a floor below me. Okay. Yeah, certainly can get a little bit of usage out of the... Oh, boy. Certainly can get a little bit of usage out of the... punishment, if nothing else. I mean, I mostly got it for... well, I mostly got it because it dropped, but I also got it because I wanted to use it in the... I made sure to keep it because I wanted to use it in the giant fight, but it still has not stopped being good at doing AoE, nonetheless. Yeah, I'm actually remembering the punishment episode now. Right, that was the punishment episode. I don't remember, like, the weapon's good, but I remember the run being particularly bad, so... I'm sure the things that I said over the course of it, of which I have pretty much entirely forgotten now, is still valid, though. Good, good. And a little bit of extra adrenaline usage there, too, is always good. Bombers are good for that if they're not good for anything else. Good for ending runs, I suppose, and making sure that I'm getting hit by librarians constantly, but, you know. You don't find a whole lot of areas where you get cursed and you have to deal with a... Good. Where you get cursed and you have to deal with a a bunch of bombers anymore. And one more. All right. I do think that despite losing a couple potion charges in endgame here, that I still got a pretty good shot at finishing this run. I mean, it's certainly not nearly as dire as other runs I've had in the past and everything, so yeah, let's just kind of get into like a nice large area here, and ooh, this on the other hand is going to be something of a problem. Get him a little bit stun on the grinder, and we're good. Oh, 75% damage reduction, probably going to be pretty useful in this upcoming fight, after all. That's usually the sort of thing that I tend to get more usage out of anyway. There's a lot of projectiles that are flying around that can be pretty obnoxious to deal with otherwise. Alright, and this fight shouldn't really be too much of a thing at all. Let's do that. Alright. Did not get... There's no scroll fragment around here or anything, is there? Dang. Come on. Come on, game. I asked for one thing here. And as for everything else, I think I am still okay with the combo of mutations that I have. I might have switched out for like Corrupted Flask or something to be able to get a big boy big heal right before the ending, and a huge DPS boost as well, but you know. I think I'd rather just make sure that I have that extra health. Maybe switch out for Dead Inside would have been the other optimal play. All right, let's do this. Do my Hyperlight Drifter costume proud. I should go see what more has come out for Solar Ash Kingdom, because I'm sure there's probably some good stuff there. Bruh. Adrenaline, especially when I do it like this, should... Well, it would have, I think. That was a pretty good dodge, though, right? I'd say so. Yeah, look at that damage go. Well, when it works, it works. Probably shouldn't have came out swinging just in case I was about to get a bad case of Thorny back there, but oh well. 2 potion charges down. 2 and well, would have been 3. Oh well. Rally is good enough, certainly, anyway. Alright, well, anyway. Probably shouldn't be using this too much right now, but it's fine. Mm-hmm. That should do it. Yep, no, not too bad of a fight at all. Pretty safe, pretty simple. There wasn't really any point, I mean, where I felt like I was in too much danger, and certainly Adrenaline would have backed me up even though I was out of potion charges. No, it's decent. I do think it was supported by, some better items, too.